Welcome back to CuriousHorse. 2025 has been unexpectedly cold. Since by my farm, my herd and I have not experienced temperatures this low, nor the accumulation of snow of this magnitude. But fortunately, we are truly enjoying this weather, loving this weather. Today I'm going to turn my big herd out to play in the snow in the emu paddock. And the objective here is to get the larger herd more used to this type of terrain in anticipation of letting them roam free in the nature paddock in the upcoming months or this spring. Also, the horses have been eating hay like crazy, so I'm going to refill the hay feeders, and it is so much fun driving my tractor through the snow, and I just love this time of the year. It looks like we are in an entirely different state, and thankfully my tractor has four-wheel drive. This is going to be my last Winter Wonderland video, I believe, because the snow is fastly melting away. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get started. It's going to be a fun one. Alrighty.
Whew. The big horses are on a scavenger hunt right now. I'm gonna get my drone out, but
Those are the security team. We're just adding even more security cameras. It's a little bit over the top, but I want to have full access on my horses. So since the two herds have yet to be integrated, I'm going to bring Patriot, Trakina, and Reese, my little munchkin herd, and just put them into one paddock, which is like the grassy paddock with the hay feeder, just so I can close this off and then bring the big horses out into the emu paddock. Look at Trakina, how beautiful does she look? Just like the contrast of black and white. And there's Reese Peasies, he's coming in too. He's been quite the troublemaker lately, and he's just so much fun. So this is the gate that I close off. See how everything just connects? But I'm going to close this gate off. And then I'm going to close the emu paddock. And then I'm going to bring the big horses in. But I wanted all my gate structure to connect so they could constantly be moving and just exploring new different types of paddocks and terrains and just having a good time. So right now I'm on my driveway. And you see how the paddock number 1, which is in front of my house, it connects to the emu paddock through the gate. So essentially I have two gates that open up, and it creates like this pathway so they can go back and forth to the paddocks. So I'm gonna close these two gates, and it's kind of like, I wouldn't call it a bridge, but I guess what's the word when you have two gates that open up? I guess it's their runway? I'm not sure. What do you call this? But here's the big herd coming from paddock 1, and they're about to make their way through the gates, and they haven't been here in quite some time since this area is designated for the Munchkins, my smaller herd. So they're about to have a lot of fun in here, and especially Javelin, because typically I only let Javelin out on a flat type of pasture. But she used to go in here with Patriot, so I don't think it would be too unfamiliar for her. But I just want to see how she does, and it's almost like a little test before I send them out into the big nature paddock. So let's see how they do, and I hope nobody slips. The snow is soft. It's not that icy just yet, so I think we're going to be okay, but we'll see how it goes. I know I've mentioned this before, but my horses are mostly draft horses or draft crosses, and they are well adapted for this cold weather. And although at times this weather may feel cold to humans, and me at times, especially my hands on my feet, my horses are thoroughly enjoying this weather. And I think they actually prefer this type of weather to like an extremely hot summer day. I know there's like a happy medium, but I know they thoroughly enjoy the snow or just the colder weather. I'm trying to fly my drone a little bit higher up just to not get caught on the trees, but you can kind of see how this is paddock 1 and how it connects to the nature paddock, the emu paddock here. For those of you that are new to the channel, I've designed my farm to constantly encourage my horses just to move, just stay on the move. And essentially I have 3 regular horse paddocks that are quite large, and then this is my 4th paddock. I would say it's more of my emu paddock, but my horses, the munchkins, use that. And this is similar to my 5th paddock, except my 5th paddock which is my concept that I created called this nature paddock. And essentially, it's just a very large area that has all different types of terrains, hills, slopes, there's streams, there's bodies of water that runs through it, and just very different types of terrain that the horses would see in if they were wild, I would say. So hopefully my goal is that the next few weeks, next few months, the spring, just depending how it goes, that all my large horses will be able to explore there together and just go on these big adventures. And again, all my paddocks are connected in one way or another with these double-sided gates. My goal again is for all the horses to be constantly moving, and I think by creating the nature paddock that connects to all this adjacent paddocks, this will allow me to achieve that. Sometimes it does worry me that as a horse dad, I'm concerned me that I can be too cautious with my horse babies. There's always a balance that we have to consider when figuring out how much access to new opportunities and adventures do I allow my horses to go on, and whether the actual gain in which they will receive will outweigh like just the potential risks. I definitely take many chances with my drone. As you can see, that was my drone hitting the tree and coming down. It never got damaged. It's good. For example, some people will say having a mixed herd is just too dangerous, and that we should just keep geldings with geldings and mares with mares and foals with foals and just complete, like, separation. What's your opinion on a mixed herd? Do you think they should be separated, or do you think they should be mixed? How many are? Some will say that we shouldn't put in large draft horses like Sarge and Prince with a small pony like Reese's is far too dangerous. While others will say that they've kept their horses and ponies together for generations. So there's just this balance that you're always weighing back and forth between. I think as horse parents, we put barriers up because there's nothing more, I know I do, there's something more heartbreaking than seeing our horses get hurt. For me personally, when one of my horses get hurt, and thankfully it's only really happened once with Javelin, it's emotionally crippling. Like, it's hard to breathe, I shut down, I feel like that my world is about to end. But besides the emotional side that goes along with an accident, there's also like a logical side. And an accident can lead to a veterinarian bill that can be financially very costly. But then I remind myself, horses do not live as long as we do. On average, horses live between 25 and I think it's 30 years. And they were never designed to be bubble wrapped. They have heightened senses beyond our imagination. Their sight, their sound, their smell is just entirely different to ours. And I think that I do a good job ensuring my horses are happy and they do live a fulfilled life. But honestly, I do think I can even do a better job giving them more opportunities just to live this adventurous life, such as letting them go out in the nature paddock unassisted by themselves. To some, it may already seem like I walk a fine line, but to others, I may be still overly cautious, such as waiting to integrate the large herd with the Munchkins, Patriot, Drakina, and Reese. So with that said, my goal this year is to continue to give my horses opportunities to explore, but give them even more opportunities to explore, and just trying to minimize the risk factors that are in my control. This is my process of loading the hay feeders. I have 2 hay feeders. One hay feeder supports the large herd, and then the other hay feeder supports my little Munchkin herd. And since the snow, the horses have been drastically increasing their consumption of hay. This is me here cutting off the plastic material that encapsulates the hay. I get super nervous with this plastic on the hay, just in the event that this gets consumed by the horses and then it causes an impaction. I've never seen this happen before, but I'm just super diligent with removing this plastic. And then this is me putting up the side panel just so I can load the hay into the hay feeder. And then you can see the hay on the side. Like, I usually shake so-called the first 2 to 3 layers of the hay and just spread it throughout the pasture, just making sure that there's no dust or just any type of material on top of the hay. I like everything to be quite sterile as much as possible for my horses. And this is how I load the hay feeder. So this is just one round bale. I'm going to add another round bale. So the large horses eat around 2 round bales twice a week. So they're eating 4 round bales total, which is way more above the average amount before the snow. And then the munchkins, they don't eat that much. I'm guessing they eat 1 round bale per week, which is supplemented by square bales, which is usually a timothy or orchid grass alfalfa mix. February is going to be quite a busy month for the channel. We have some really cool horse activities scheduled, and we have multiple auctions that we're going to be attending. And also our vet is coming out to administer vaccinations for Drakina. As you know, Drakina is Amish bred, so more likely than not she's never had vaccinations before, and we got behind on her vaccination schedule after getting her at the auction in Indiana, because remember, she was on antibiotics and you can't administer those antibiotics at the same time as the vaccinations, so we just had to pause. So now she's ready to get caught up with the rest of the herd with her vaccination schedule. So that's coming up. And I'm also going to reconvene on Prince's carriage training this month. I would also love to get Sergeant Boy trained to pull a carriage. I'm going to do a lot of research, and I'm going to start out just ground driving him in the round pen. I do not have a carriage trainer, so I'm probably just going to trust my intuition and do the best research that I can do and just start off very slow. So that's going to be fun for Sergeant Prince to kick up their carriage training. So it's a busy month. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm going to end the video with just some music and the horses running in that paddock. If you want to stay, stay. If not, I'll see you on the next one. Alrighty, have a good one.